Get off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Spreaker, Streaker, and more. Why so many places? Because I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness. So I have topics and guests and co-hosts and series to that end. If you've missed any of my 1,227 past podcast shows, but who's counting, in the past 645 consecutive weeks, then please do free subscribe to my YouTube TV channel, which is the home base of hope and happiness for you. And as you can see from the camera, who's in studio, it is my very special Thursday co-host for our series called Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and
James Hawthorn. Hi, everybody.
Welcome back. As you can see, he is as I was going to say straight, not straight, and good looking as ever. He's an actor. He's a trainer. He is a former film festival with a meaning co-founder. He's he's been in and out of my life, and it's kind of funny the way we keep intersecting, and now that's how he ended up as my co-host. Please welcome back to the studio, James Hawthorn.
You
Welcome
see,
back.
that's how we know that we've been to the audience knows that we've been to a couple Dodgers games together. You've been listening to the PA announcer announce the players walking up. That was a pretty good, and now batting.
No. Well, I did date Michael Buffer too.
Oh,
but I was on the East Coast, so I can get into my let's get no. Anyways.
That just made me wonder about if he uses the voice in the throes of passion and what that might sound like.
I don't throw and tell.
Hey, there you go.
Actually, I do. But anyways, I'm just doing the little story here so people know we're on live now. And let's see. Oh, God, I love my life. We're going to start with the gratitude sandwich. Y'all know we start every show for the past couple of years with taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich to keep us starting the day in the most positive way instead of doing this, which I call MS scrolling, meaningless scrolling. We're going to focus with top of the bun, 8 things that we're grateful for outside of ourselves, and then bottom of the bun, because I like it on the bottom, 8 things that we appreciate about ourselves, just gratitude turned inward. So you can tell we're rolling into the weekend. I get a little naughty closer it gets to Friday. So James, what are you grateful for this morning?
I'm grateful for 3 of my best friends. 2 of them had the same birthday on September 10th. And so getting to speak to both of them and spend time with them. One of them was in town, and beautiful ocean swim together, great breakfast. If you haven't been to Destroyer in Culver City, it's an odd name for a breakfast spot, but the food and the coffee drinks are innovative, delicious, fresh, so good, worth the price. And then we went to a lovely dinner with all of his LA friends at Asteria Mozza. So grateful for him coming to LA to let us all share in that with him, and finally connected with my dear friend Kelly, who you might remember from the film festival. Blonde-haired Kelly was my right-hand woman, helped me run the whole thing with Andrew Steele.
Yes. No, I do.
We had a beautiful catch up last night. So my last few days have been full of wonderful friend time, and I'm grateful for that.
Great. Please give her my regards and my love. and see if she remembers me. Did you tell her you were doing the show now with me? Did she?
I think she knows that from the like a time or two ago that we spoke. Yeah, I have to remind her to tune in. I know she and her family.
Yeah, that would be great. I am so grateful for my life. Yesterday it was like 2 consecutive days of just waking up just in this place of sheer gratitude, like on steroids. And it continues. I didn't even know we had an earthquake this morning at 7:28, 4.7. Did you feel it?
Not at all.
Yeah. I woke up, and I usually wake up earlier, but on every other day, I work out every other day. So this morning was a non-workout day. So usually I set the alarm for 8, a little later instead of 7. But I woke up at 7:28. Now I know why.
You and I, well, there you go. You and I think it sounds like we sleep like the dead. I think I could sleep through the apocalypse, frankly.
Yeah, I remember. Don't remind me.
That's right. Oh boy.
I couldn't rouse him from the dead to the live.
For anybody that was tuned in that week and was hoping to see us vibe together on the topic, my apologies to everybody there.
Okay.
I eventually woke up and was just feeling like I had the flu and ended up sleeping most of that day, actually. And my sincere apologies to all of you for that. Normally I can pull it together in those circumstances, and I just slept right through.
Well, I'm really grateful that it rarely happens that I, am it in literally 645 consecutive. That's almost like, are we getting on? We're definitely 12 and a half years that I can count on one hand when something happens. That's incredible, really, if you think about it, that it only happens that short time. So we got a finger for that one. Want to welcome all those who are coming to I'm getting a little feedback on my microphone. Can you hear it?
I don't.
Good. If you hear it, let me know. But we're getting eyeballs in the studio. Someone just gave us the finger. Thank you so much for that. And we would love to have you participate in today's show. We'll put your comments and questions on there because we're talking about one of my favorite topics. I love Thursdays because Thursdays we keep it real, straight talk. I wanted one show a week to put the moose on the table, which is my Canadian version of talking about the elephant in the room. And knowing that, relationships are really the hallmark of life. The good, the bad, the ugly. I call it the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. If you remember ABC's Wild World of Sports, that's how I look at dating and relationships and romance and all of that. So that's what we continue to talk about that. We really don't need a topic because we rarely stay on topic. So I just straight talk on dating this week.
My take on that would be the thrill of compatibility and the agony of ghosting when it comes to dating.
I just found out yesterday what submarining was.
Oh, do tell. I don't know if I know what that
you
is.
don't know? You don't know? When you're you go out with someone and things feel good or look good and you think it's going somewhere, and then all of a sudden it looks like ghosting, but after a period of time they resurface. Isn't that hilarious?
Oh yeah, I've had that happen, and I'm just like, oh, okay, now it's convenient for you. Well, good for you. Now's the right time. Okay.
We haven't finished breakfast, so that's my bad. I started the topic already, but that's to give you a little taste. This is why we can rarely get through breakfast in the first 5 minutes. But let's see. I am grateful for. Oh, well, I'm grateful that my daughters had someone who was just a wonderful grandfather since my Chinese father passed from lymphoma in 2000 when My oldest was 2, and my youngest was 3 months. And my father's youngest brother, the last of the Pays, he passed yesterday at 7 a.m. So, but the good news is they got, when my daughter was at Cornell, she got a lot of time to spend. She made a point of going and establishing a relationship, which I'm so grateful that she did. And so she's very close and had great time. My younger one got to meet him, and he's really, and this is the part I'm grateful for, he's out of anguish. He had a tumor which required him to not be able to eat, and the feeding tube was not working. And so, he's out of that because he loved food. We're like huge foodies on that side of the family. And I remember one of my last conversations with him, like, he was honest with me. It's like, I have to figure out if I can say that word or not, because it's been said several times. I'm not getting flagged by the FCC yet, but HE double hockey puck. And to live like that. And I'm ready to pull the trigger on an article that I just finished called "Death Not the Final Frontier," and so he's on the other side. He's with his beautiful wife that he missed so much. I know he's in a great place. My heart hurts for my daughters, and for me, my missing is nothing compared to. I'm so grateful that he's not in anguish anymore. So I'm grateful for that.
I love your take on that. When I've lost grandparents growing up, I felt the same way, that peace was finally theirs, and celebrating all of the great years that you did have. It's lovely.
Yeah, thank you for that. Let's go to the bottom of the button, which is, what do you like about yourself? What are you grateful for inside? The reason why I do this is a lot of us aren't good at this, whether it's don't toot your own horn or who do you think you are, the fear of humiliation, of saying that you are something good at something and someone going, are you kidding me? I've had that quite a few times, actually. And growing the muscle so that comments like that just go, if I look like you, I'd be miserable too. Just kidding. So the reaction is, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I'm pretty confident that that's something that I do. And maybe I do it too often, talking on a talk show. But hey, I can't please everybody all the time, but I have to own what I am and who I am and the parts that are good. So this way, we're priming you before you go to bed tonight to think about those things that you're good at, that you are good for, and not go to bed sleepless because you're thinking about what you forgot to do, didn't do. You're a lazy A. Someone insulted you, which is why you can't sleep. So, James, what do you like about yourself?
Before I jump into that, you just reminded me of something really beautiful. This, whether you like yourself or not, if you're bad at this exercise and you haven't developed the muscle yet to do it, I think a great first step is find the courage to at least be who you authentically are. And really beautiful things happen when you find the courage to do that. I really believe that people can intuit, sense, smell authenticity. And sometimes we're not truly ourselves because, like you said, Marissa, we're afraid of how it might be perceived. But imagine the tragedy in getting rejected or missing a beautiful connection because people are judging you for this quote unquote better person that you're trying to be. And they never had the chance to see who you really were. So if you're not quite ready or good at yet loving yourself and liking who you are, start by trying to find the courage just to be who you are and see how the world responds to you. As I've gotten older, I've started to give a lot of my F's away, and it has become easier and easier to do that. And the rewards have really come through. in terms of how people respond to me. And then the good thing is that you know exactly where you stand, you know, in the world, because people are responding to the real you and not some idea that you have, some veneer that you've put forth.
Give your what's away?
Another word you can't say. My
Okay.
My F's away.
Oh, like give a.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to clarify that.
Sometimes we get all hung up on caring about stuff that doesn't matter. And
Right.
once I turned 30, I started to get a little bit better at it. And as I approach the big 4-0, I keep getting better at it. So while some skills and things start to diminish, others I'm getting really good at.
Yeah. That's great. We're at the bottom of the bun, which is what do we like about ourselves? Feel free to use the chat as long as you're not driving to play along and have breakfast with us. I appreciate my ability to change and grow. I'm #ageless, but I those things that I thought, you know, I will never think differently on this. I will never change my mind about this. I'm changing my freaking mind, you know, and it's good. It's a good thing because things work for you for a time and then they don't work for you. And it's not right or wrong. It's useful or not useful. And I'm not going to say older I get, but as time passes, I am realizing that, right, wrong is not necessary. It feeds into my perfectionism. So it's more like, is it useful or not useful? And the more I can ask like that, the less shoulding I do on myself. You should have said that. You should have said that. And the more I can, you know, really just have fun with me.
I love that. Mine's very similar. You like that you can change. I like that I'm adaptable. I used to be more structured and regimented and like to have things planned out and figured out. But the older I've gotten, the more I've realized that the world doesn't work that way. So I better catch up and snap to. And this week has been absolutely nuts. Plans for 1-2 weeks out turned upside down, but by good things, by good news, by an abundance of opportunities and victories in terms of booking gigs and things like that. So, you know, it's one of those things where I'm like, great, I have the privilege of having to figure all this out. And I'm just grateful that I've learned to not let that stress me out.
Great. That's it for breakfast on Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and
James Hawthorn.
Thanks for joining us. Oh, sorry.
The forest-looking bounty man today with his flannel. Put me on a roll of paper towels.
I know, right? What's that? What was his name?
The bounty man, you know, bounty.
No, the other one, the lumberjack guy.
Yeah. Oh boy.
In Disney. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. Anyways, thanks for joining us for breakfast. We promise you that if you do this good life habit, #Blisscipline for the next 28 consecutive days, you will sandwich your day in the most positive way. And there's no side effects except warning label. You may be smiling more, laughing more, having a better time and having better relationships. So choice is yours. Hopefully you will choose. You don't have to join me in the morning every weekday morning to do this. You can do it on your own, but I'm happy to have you here every weekday morning at 9 a.m. on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. We're going to take a quick break for news and traffic and a word from our sponsor. Don't go away. It's all about balance. Chuck Woolery used to say, we'll be back in 2 and 2, if you remember that. Dating myself. But I say peace in and peace out. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And sponsor of today's show is the Saban Theater. I'm giving away 4 pairs of tickets. Dana Morris gave me the okay. It's a fabulous show. I'm going to play you just a little bit of this. Lion dancing, one of my favorites. I'm so bummed. I will not be there because I'm on my way to, I was going to say China again, Canada, to throw my Chinese mom, a 90th year birthday party. But you can enjoy this and more. Isn't she adorable? Ow! So 4 tickets. And that is for a giveaway, Asian Oprah giveaway today. If you would like a pair of tickets to that show at the beautiful Saban Theater, please go to drmarissa.life. Used to be .tv. .life, and let me know, and I will get those your name into Will Call so you can enjoy an amazing night with Chinese acrobats from Hubei. All right, we're back. Thanks for joining us. This is Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, home to the Asian Oprah, #1 talk in the IE. Thank you very much. And this is very special, popular Thursday series, Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and
James Hawthorn. For those listeners that just heard about our sponsor, never miss a chance to see live theater, live musical theater. It will light you up inside. I am an actor, I'm an artist. I haven't seen a live show in a while, let alone a really good one. Went to one recently. I'm not much of a crier. I had the tears coming down from both eyes. It was a poignant message, timely and timeless, and just completely moved me to tears and told in a heartwarming way, in excellent quality. And to see it done before your eyes live, there's a magic to it that you just don't get with TV and film, because TV and film has that polish of post-production and editing. And the great thing about theater is that anything can happen at any time. And you're seeing people, you're seeing a barely controlled bucking bronco, and you get to ride it with everybody else. So never miss the chance to see live theater. So I hope everybody takes advantage of that very generous giveaway.
Name of your show that you were talking about?
Yes, it's called The Civility of Albert Castle, and it's based on, or Albert Cashier, excuse me, and it's based on a true story, I'll keep it short, about a woman that enlists as a man in the Union Army during the Civil War to fight for her country. 29 years later, it gets found out that he is, in fact, a she, and they try to throw her in jail and take away all of her belongings and money, you know, that she received from the government for her heroic service. So it echoes to a lot of issues that we're, you know, facing in America today. And the music is excellent. They have Lady Gaga's violinist as part of the team, and the cast is brilliant with, you know, a line of credits longer than Santa Claus's gift list. And it was just impeccably done. It's at the Colony Theater in Burbank. Last show is September 22nd. I'm going to go again. It was that good. I can't recommend it enough.
You need to contact them and ask them if they want to do ticket giveaways, you know.
I will. I will do that. Although I don't think our odds are very good on that, because I went to the last night of previews and it was just a couple seats shy of a sellout, 240 seat theater during the previews. So I would love to be able to get that. I think our audience.
Maybe I'll reach out and see if I can do some magic.
I'll give him a call. I'll give him a call too. I know the producer of the show. So help out with that. Yeah, that would be great.
All right. And now to the topic of the day, which is more dating. Dating and more dating. Last time I checked, you're still single. I'm still single. I did go through a pretty a momentous shift in my own BS, in my own belief systems around the dating that I've been doing. So I want, you know, as usual, I live my life out loud. I told the guy that I went on a date last night with, do not tune in today, because
well, now you know he's going to tune in.
I don't know if he does. It's fine because it was actually a good date.
Good.
So the prior day I had a really bad date. So it was a nice balance out for, what's been going on. But if you're dating right now, or if you're done with dating, or if you're thinking about dating, this is the show for you. I don't know what you're going to say. I didn't prep you on this, and not that I need to or anything. We usually have a particular topic. I guess we continue to, how do we make dating less frustrating and more fun? I think we started that, maybe it's a mini series that we're doing just as we date out loud. So catch us up. Where are you now with your dating? Are you still swiping? Are you still, swiper, no swiping? I don't know. The door of the every time I hear about swiping.
Lately, it sounds like you've been in the dating rainforest, lush, vibrant, full. I've been in the dating desert. And a lot of the people that I would like to set up dates with haven't been available. It hasn't worked out. They've been busy, or maybe they're just not interested and aren't telling me the truth. But one guy that I was really interested in, was dealing with family stuff in another state, and then said, "Oh, but I've been talking to somebody the last couple of weeks." And I'm like, "Oh, really? I thought we had like a really nice connection." So that was disappointing. So lately I've been in the dating desert. I've also been extremely busy and all over the place with my schedule. So I am swiping, but not nearly as much. And I think, maybe the universe is only giving me what I can handle at the moment. And right now it's a lot of career stuff. So, I'm okay with that for now. I try not to be the salmon. I try not to swim upstream. I try to go with the flow.
Mm-hmm. Good. Because one of the things that I've realized about dating, when you are single and you are multiple dating, because, if you dated one person at a time and let it pan out for 3 months or however long it takes to know if it's a go or a no, it's a lifetime activity. So multiple dating is one of the things that I wanted to talk about. I've been on 18 first dates now, 19 first dates, but who's counting? And the reason being is that I haven't met anybody that I wanted to go on a second date with. And what I realized too was the ones that when you say you like them, all the ones that I like don't like me, or the ones that like me, I don't like them. So that's one BS that really is not helpful, useful, right? The second one is what I realized.
What if the first one's true? What if that actually is the case and the person's just missing on compatibility of interest?
No, it's just not the right time. It's not the right point in the cycle. So let's say you're available and wanting a relationship and wanting a committed relationship, and that person is seeing, another person, and they're in, ahead of you on meeting them, and they want to see where it goes, but they're not sure. It's not personal that they're not available for you. And this is the big aha that I had, is that if the timing on where you're catching people in that dating cycle isn't matching, it's not personal. Like, I don't have to go, well, you didn't want me then, therefore you can't have me now. And that is not useful. But a lot of us, and I'll be the first one, I used to be so ticked off if you said I was beautiful and said that I, wanted to meet me, and then don't make the time to meet me, or make plans and then cancel. I was just so bent out of shape, and so like, fine, I'm not doing this anymore. And it's ridiculous. That whole concept of where you are in that cycle, meeting someone else in that cycle, was so like, boom. So what I did was, all the ones that I'd matched with before that I hadn't heard back from, or we had missed each other, I just went back and I said, we may not have been on the same dating cycle before, but I know we matched for a reason. If you are interested in seeing if there's a match now, reach out.
Do you know what you did there?
What is it?
You made sure that you didn't sink the submariners. These people are submarining, and you decided not to play Battleship and sink them. You decided to be the peace envoy, and you said, "Come on into my safe harbor, you submariner. Let's give it another go."
Yeah, and it's a whole reframe of what you said earlier of, oh, now the time is convenient for you, which is a negative way of looking at submarining, and turning it into no harm, no foul. You just weren't in that place for whatever reason that I was available. And the same thing happened, another great example. I talked to someone, he had problems with his, going through some similar stuff, aging parents. My dad had a stroke, my bonus dad, and his had something as well. And so, he's back there taking care. And he said, when I get back, look forward to meeting you. And my first response was, well, it may be too late then, because I'm dating, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh God, get over yourself. Right now that cycle's not sinking, and who knows, it may be or may not be, right? But it's not personal. And as a result of this extremely life-changing shift for me, both personally, not so much professionally, I still think there's something, that when you're canceling a lot professionally, it's not a good sign. So, but personally, it's allowed, I gave myself some grace, and I'm not as pissed off. I really am happier. And that's my brand, right?
And giving other people some grace, because they might not be prioritizing dating as much as you are, and that's their prerogative. Maybe they have other things that are more important. They're dealing with family stuff. They're in a pivotal place career-wise. Who knows? And dating might be on their list of things that they want to do, but it might be lower down than yours, and they have that right. And so it's one of those things where if you want to play the game, you can't complain about the rules. And, I like the way you said that. It's just the nature of dating, where submarining, right, is going to happen, whether it be you that does it or somebody else. That's the nature of it. It's like getting mad at your dog when they bark at the front door. I mean, that's a dog. Go get it. Should have gotten a cat if that's going to bother you every time they do it.
Absolutely. And learning, it's funny, on Wednesday with my co-host, Dr. Tiffany Tate, we were talking about forcing that square peg through a round hole. And I had such a difficult time keeping my mind out of the gutter on that one. But she, it was one of those lessons from Don Miguel Ruiz. If you want a dog, don't buy a cat. And I know that I'm not going to get along with MAGA. I'm not going to get along with people who think that, the orange man is like the best thing since sliced bread. And I'm spiritual. And I was swiping on agnostic or conservative, thinking that they might be the exception to the rule. I mean, I would love to know if there's a way to put on there a Republican that doesn't, support MAGA, because right now the two are kind of like together. But I think they're out there. I think they exist. But I have to stop going to the tractor for milk, no matter how cute they are in their pictures. That is definitely I had one say, I'm not religious. I believe in a God, but God is not central in my life. Well, a religious God is not central in my life, but my UPS man, universal power source, who delivers every morning when I meditate, is central in my life, because I have an amazing life because I'm hooked into the power, So I had to say, thank you very much, good luck. But that was another thing that I had to be a little more honest with myself about.
You know, you raised a very interesting, or something that made me think about how compatible do we have to be, stepping outside of the, because we as people we're so complex, and it kind of runs in parallel with my idea that no one person can be your everything. Maybe the person you're in a romantic relationship with is the person you go to for X and Y, but there's 24 other letters of the alphabet that the rest of your friend group or family might fill. For example, I have a friend who is one of the kindest, most generous, treats people so well. I wouldn't say he's a MAGA Republican, but I imagine he's going to vote for Trump. And I don't understand it, but I also have to look at the way he conducts himself and the way he lives his life and the way he treats people. And he's such a good person. So, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I can't be friends with you or I'm mad at you, even though fundamentally I disagree with that so much. I look at all of the other stuff that makes him him. And he's a dear friend of mine, even though I cannot get my head around how he could cast his vote for that guy. Everything else just outweighs that. And so when it comes to, the prerequisites for swiping and having a first date, how compatible do we have to be? And I think that's a question that everybody has to ask themselves and see what their priority list is. What are the non-negotiables? Are they truly non-negotiable, or do you have some bendability, some flexibility?
Yeah. Good point. My BS, my belief system is professionally, and I'm glad I've gotten to this point. My beloved Friday co-host is completely opposite to me in so many ways, including that one. And we are a good example of how we can agree to disagree. Mm-hmm. And he is a great co-host. He's been a great addition to this show in general, and very known for his BS belief systems. And we're getting his followers now. I'll have 1 out of 100 of his followers say, shut up, you're like out of whack, and bye-bye, and have a much more say, I like what she said. I like what she's saying. I see the change in you and some of your messaging reflecting. And I'm like, this is why, even when I found out about it, I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter, because we can agree to disagree. And he's a lovely person, just like you were saying about your friend. However, when it comes to personal, for me, romance, intimacy, taking my clothes off with someone who fundamentally has a BS belief system that is so diametrically opposed both on religion and politics, can't do it. So for me, it's a non-negotiable. Maybe for you, you can do that, but it's like there's so many ways in which we can connect with someone, that a fundamental that is that anxiety, because you can't change their mind, they're not going to change yours, and how can you not talk about those two very important aspects of your life, because your BS, your belief systems about politics and about human value and about women's rights and about, all of those, valuing diversity, especially for a woman of color, is just, I don't want to come home and have to say, argue about the debate. So, because they're not going to be able to see anything good about Kamala, and I'm not going to be able to see anything good about the Orange Man. So that's my BS. So I have discovered that my bad is swiping on people who say agnostic and conservative.
Swiping no, automatically.
I have to, because then I'm violating my own BS about compatibility.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But you know what though, that you know, the beautiful thing about it is that's your prerogative. That's why it's your dating profile. That's why there's so many dating apps out there and so many people participating. A lot of fish in the sea. That said, I'm gonna play not so much devil's advocate, but offer an alternative slice of this pie. As you know, all topics kind of are circular in a way if you really look at it from every angle. It's this, what you focus on becomes more real. It becomes amplified. So while, you know, I think everybody needs to have a value system and a set of principles, but if you really focus on those things in yourself and other people, they amplify for better or for worse. Mm-hmm. And I do believe that there is an objective truth out there around this, in that we all have more in common than we don't. And it's just in our human nature to focus and sometimes even fixate on the differences. And I believe that that's sort of a fallacy. It's a problem in our wiring, and we all do it because it's integral to our human nature for whatever reason. But I think that we can strive to put our focus on the things that we have in common, which I think always, even with somebody who you don't think you'd have anything in common with, when you really get down to it, you want the same things, even if you have different ideas about how the world works, how things should be. You all kind of want the same things for yourselves, your family, your loved ones. And I think that if we can put that into our dating lives, we might create more opportunities for ourselves. But that said, our threshold for annoyance, dealing with PS, I mean, you know, that
like why, that's my point, is like, why add that to an equation unnecessarily when there's so many other things that you're going to disagree on anyways? Like, why put such a major point of angst? Why do that to your relationship? It's kind of like going to grad school. You got to really want it, because there's going to be so many reasons to leave grad school. Same with the relationship. You got to really want it. So stack the deck for the stack the deck easier. That's just my point. But I hear you. I don't agree with you, but I hear you. And we're going to be right back. We're going to have to take a quick break. Mm-hmm. Actually, we have a special guest that I almost forgot about, who's going to talk about September's and how important September is for healthy aging. And we're going to listen to him. We'll be right back with a final word after that around dating and the things that we've learned. But we'll be back in 2 and 2 on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind, home to the Asian Oprah. We'll be right back. It is, and good to be with you as well. Let's see, lighting looks good, sounds good, and quiet on the set. Just write this up here. Second. Quickly again, the lead in. Never mind. The morning show, and it is September, and it's the Healthy Aging Month, which focuses attention on many issues, including some major changes for people with hearing loss. Joining me today is audiologist and hearing expert Dr. Devet Swanepoel, who is with Lexie Hearing, to discuss hearing health and FDA rules that make hearing aids much more successful. Dr. Swanepoel is an author and professor at the University of Pretoria in South Africa. and adjunct professorship at the University of Colorado School of Medicine, where he specializes in digital hearing solutions and hearing loss research. Welcome to my studio, Dr. DeWitt Swanepoel, and you're going to have to help me with that pronunciation. I totally apologize if I messed that up, but I'm sure I am not the first and only person who's do that. But please do welcome this great expert. So glad to have you. There we go. So glad to have you here. And let's just get started because we don't want to miss out. Thank you for reminding me that September is healthy aging, even though I'm #ageless. But why is it important to know about this particular month?
Well, so you mentioned it. September is Healthy Aging Month. And one of the often overlooked but incredibly important parts of our health is our hearing health. And what people often don't realize is that hearing loss can impact almost every aspect of our health. So as an audiologist and as a co-founder of Lexie Hearing, I really want people to know that they don't have to live with hearing loss. Today, we have remarkable, new and affordable solutions that can really help people to hear better right there where they are.
Fantastic. What should people know about hearing health? I joke about it, how's your hearing? What? But realistically, what should we know that we don't know?
Yeah, so one of the first things we like to bring to people's attention is that hearing loss is much more common than people think. In the US, 1 in 3 people over the age of 65 are estimated to live with hearing loss. And that figure actually jumps up to 50% by the age of 75. And talking about Healthy Aging Month, hearing loss is often dismissed as just a natural part of aging. But what we really want people to know and realize is that it's really important to address hearing loss. So to know when you have hearing loss so that you can do something about it.
Wow. So I know that my 94-year-old bonus dad, he started having some hearing, but you're saying that doesn't mean that it's aging, right? So how does hearing loss affect people if it's not aging?
Yes, so hearing loss and aging are closely linked to each other. But I think what people sometimes do is they just say, so it's you have hearing loss, it's just part of the normal aging process. But what we want people to realize is it doesn't have to be. You can do something about hearing loss. It's important to do something about it because untreated hearing loss is associated with a number of health risks. For example, the recent research has shown us that it's associated with an increased risk of dementia. It can increase your risk of physical falls, social isolation, and even depression. So it's important to know what your hearing status is so that you can do something about it as soon as possible. Because the good news is that if you wear hearing aids, you can reduce those risks and you can give people confidence to do the things that they really love to do.
Yeah, that's super important. I know that it's a pride thing too. People don't want to admit that they're getting old, so they don't admit that they can't hear something. But what you're saying is, if it's not always related to aging, is something to sort of catch early, like any other chronic disease. Not calling this disease, but something that there is a solution. So, doctor, tell me, what is the solution?
Yeah, so the good news is that we have remarkable technologies at our disposal. So we're living in a day and age where it's not that we don't know what to do. We know exactly what to do. We just want people to act on their concerns about their hearing health. Hearing aids, have changed tremendously over the past 10 years. and what they can offer is really life-changing by way of amplification of speech and bringing people closer together in relationships and communication. But they've also become lifestyle devices that offer people ways to function better in work settings, work environments. They're convenient. They stream your phone calls directly to your hearing aids, and they can also stream your music to your hearing aids. So the landscape has changed tremendously. And I think what we also just wanted to mention is that 2 years ago, the FDA proposed rules to bring out over-the-counter hearing aids so that you can purchase a pair of hearing aids at a store or online without a prescription. And that's really changed the whole landscape, and it's already helped a lot of people.
That's great. Where can we go for more information about all of this good stuff?
Yeah, so for more information on everything we've discussed, you can visit lexiehearing.com. And for an exclusive offer for listeners, they can use the code LEX100, that's LEX100 promo code, for $100 off select products in celebration of Healthy Aging Month, starting today until October 10th. So the promo code is LEX100. And remember to take our free 2-minute hearing test online at lexiehearing.com.
Fantastic. LexieHearing.com. Thank you so much, Doctor, for coming on and giving us this really good information and necessary information. I'm all about being happy 88% of the time. And if you can't hear, you're not going to be happy, not even close to that. Thank you so much for joining me today. Again, one more time for those people who are still maybe not awake, but they want to take advantage of it. The website is lexiehearing.com. That's LEXIE. Correct? Hearing.
That's right.
And the promo code is?
Promo code is LEX100. And that's for $100 off select products from lexiehearing.com.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining me again, Doctor. Go and have the best day ever.
Thanks.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
So sorry about that, James. It slipped my mind. I have great memory, but my recall sucks. And it is Healthy Aging Month, and this is the only slot I could find this week to put them on. So I apologize. We were right in the throes of great dating talk, but final word coming in. You can have the rest of the time. We actually have a little more time than final, so
that's okay. I found that actually very illuminating, and my dad just started having to use a hearing aid, and whenever I call him now, there's like a 1-minute ramp up to be able to have the call, because he says, "Hold on, James," and he's got to sync up his hearing aid to the cell phone, and he's still learning how to use it. But boy, it makes life so much better. He and his younger brother both now have to use them, and you know, it just makes their life so much easier, especially if they're out at a restaurant, and it's nothing to be ashamed of or embarrassed about, and it allows them to hold on to their youth, which is great, because they're otherwise very healthy, in most ways. So
that's great. So to catch up, those eyeballs that are still here, thanks for continuing to tune in to Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, and Straight Talk about dating with myself and
James Hawthorn. We're doing a little potpourri of dating topics today, and it's been a great conversation, I think.
Yeah, the submarining, the things in common, what our red, green flags are as far as choosing, what are non-negotiables. I also, in addition to, are we at the same point in our dating cycle of availability? I do want to talk about multiple dating, because it is one of those, like, how do you not take personally when someone is dating other people at the same time and you want to get to know them and, intimately. I don't want to be, getting down and dirty with, or down and clean with, multiple people at the same time. And yet that is one of the ways in which you discover if you're compatible or not.
I have an idea about that. I mean, I think if you're not sure that the person that you have been on a couple of dates with is right for you, and you are looking to find that partner, I think it's totally fine as long as you're honest with that individual. You say, look, I'm still dating other people. I'm getting to know other folks. Would love to see you again. I hope you're okay with that. And if somebody were to say that to me, I've gotten used to that being a thing. And we call it hanging out, where someone's not ready to exclusively date one person. They want to see who else is out there. Maybe through successful swiping, they've lined up a few dates over the course of a couple of weeks, and they want to do a go-see. Much like a job interview, you might be offered a job, but you might want to go see about those other interviews. And if you individually don't like that, and you don't like the idea of this person that you have feelings for maybe sleeping around, that might be one of your non-negotiables, because there's other people out there that agree with you.
Yeah. It's another term I learned was SNA. NSA, no strings attached.
Right.
But I've never heard of that. I mean, I don't.
That's usually.
Isn't that weird? I'm like, I'm not stupid, but some of the acronyms I never come across.
I didn't know submarining.
There you go.
Most people use NSA around sex when they're looking for sexual partners. Whereas when it comes to dating, people use the term "we're hanging out," which means it's
hanging out means you are having sex.
NSA usually means sex with no strings attached, meaning, if we get together, don't go and tell me how much you love me. Don't develop feelings. We're just having a physical exchange of energy. It's NSA is more often used with looking for sex partners, whereas hanging out is, I think, more commonly used with where you're at in your dating life.
Oh, I thought hanging out was NSA.
Not necessarily. They're not mutually exclusive or separate, but someone could be having lots of NSA sex while hanging out with multiple people that they're, going on dates with. But a lot of times NSA exists outside of the dating realm and pertains more specifically to sex and what your expectations are around that sex.
Okay. I'm going to call it SSA from now on. Some strings attached.
Right.
Because I don't think you can have sex without at least one little string attached. I don't know.
I'm that
Call
way.
me old-fashioned.
But I've met some pretty cold and heartless people. I've had sex with them, and I'm like, how can you not have feelings? Like, how can you not want to actually go get an ice cream or something? The sex is great. Let's let's go out and have dinner now. Now that we got sex done.
Right.
And they're like, nope, done. Just I've seen people that can do it. That's not really me though.
Well, my response to that is whenever I do airdrop with someone on the phone with transferring pictures and videos, after it's complete, I say, now we got to go have a cigarette. That's the only kind of connection I'm having. But speaking of this, I'm going to do a little inviting. James has, for the next 3 weeks, gigs that he's going to, and I'm happy for you. And it gives me the opportunity, those of you who tuned in to my once a month special series with, it's called Empowered Relationship Relief. He's an expert on helping people release those underlying BS that are getting in the way of successful, intimate relationships. So, of course, I want to make sure I'm in the best possible place to have a healthy relationship. So he's going to work on me for the next 3 Thursdays. So you want to tune in every Thursday now at 9 a.m. I'm going to be on that couch, that black couch by myself, working through some of my own issues. So that's the commercial for that. Thanks so much for joining us. Thank you, James. As usual, it's been fun. It's all about balance. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. Now go and have the best day.
The best day.
Ever. We'll see you tomorrow with the Hollywood Rebel Report with Ricky Rebel.
Take back